All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're essentially creating a blueprint for your future business. We're going to talk about the nuts and bolts of the legal structures you absolutely need to understand if you're thinking about starting a business with partners here in England.
So, picture this. You've got a fantastic idea, you found the perfect person to build it with, and you are ready to go. It's an incredibly exciting moment. But hold on. There is a huge decision you have to make before you do anything else. And I'm not being dramatic here. This is a massive deal. The legal framework you pick for your partnership isn't just some boring paperwork. Get it wrong, and it can mean your home, your savings, literally everything you own is on the line if the business goes under.
And that really gets to the heart of the matter. What you're dealing with here is a fundamental trade-off. Do you want things to be super simple and easy to start, or do you want to be safe and protected? It's a balancing act, and you need to get it right.
The good news is you're not flying blind. English law gives you 3 very different options, 3 paths you can take. Each one has its own rules, its own perks, and, most importantly, its own level of risk. So let's break them down.
First up, we've got the old classic, the general partnership. This one's been around forever, governed by an act from way back in 1890. You could almost think of it as the default setting. It's what you get if you start a business with someone and don't formally set anything else up.
Now, the big draw here? Simplicity. I mean, you can literally start a general partnership with a verbal agreement, and everyone can jump into managing the business. But, and this is a huge but, that simplicity comes at a terrifying price. The business is not a separate thing from you, legally speaking, and that leads to the big one, unlimited liability.
And this right here, this is the one concept you absolutely have to burn into your brain. Unlimited liability means that if the business racks up debts, the people you owe money to can come after your personal stuff, your house, your car, your life savings. In the eyes of the law, you and the business are one and the same.
And if you think that's scary, it gets worse. The law sees every partner as an agent of the firm. That means if your partner goes out and signs the deal or takes out a loan as part of the usual way of business, you are both on the hook for it. You are personally liable, even if you had no idea it was even happening.
Now, let's say things go south and the partnership ends. You don't just split what's left. Oh no, there's a strict pecking order for who gets paid. And as you can see, the people outside the business, the creditors, are at the very top of the list. The partners, you're dead last. You only get your initial investment back after every single other debt is paid off, assuming there's even anything left.
Okay, so the general partnership is clearly risky. But what if one of you is just putting up the cash? You know, a silent partner who won't be involved day to day. Well, for that exact situation, the limited partnership, or LP, was created back in 1907.
So, in an LP, you've got 2 kinds of players. You have to have at least one general partner. That person runs the show and has that same scary unlimited liability. But you can also have limited partners. These are your investors. Their liability is protected, but here's the catch. They are strictly forbidden from taking part in managing the business.
And this is where you can really see that trade-off in action. The general partner on the left, totally exposed, taking on all that personal risk. But the limited partner on the right is shielded. Their risk is capped. The most they can possibly lose is the money they put in. Essentially, they trade control for financial safety.
Now let's talk about the modern workhorse, what I like to call the fortress, the Limited Liability Partnership, or LLP. This was created way more recently, in the year 2000, and it was designed specifically to fix the huge problems we've just been talking about. It's a way to work together flexibly without betting the farm.
Seriously, this thing is a total game changer. Yes, you have to formally incorporate it, but in return, you get what's called a separate legal entity. And that means every single partner, they're called members here, gets a limited liability. You get the flexibility of a partnership with the protective shield of a big corporation.
This is the secret sauce right here. The business itself becomes a legal person, totally separate from the people who own it. Think of it like this. The LLP is a whole other character in the story. It has its own bank account, it can sign its own contracts, and it can have its own debts. And if that character gets into financial trouble, the debt belongs to it, not automatically to you.
So, the bottom line is this. An LLP builds a solid brick wall between the business's finances and your personal finances. The business stands on its own 2 feet, and that wall is what keeps your personal assets safe.
Okay, so we've walked through the 3 main paths you can take. Now, let's line them up side by side and make this choice really, really clear.
All right, let's look at the scoreboard here. First, legal personality. Is the business its own person?
Nope for a general partnership, nope for an LP, but a big yes for the LLP. Next, and this is the big one, partner liability. It's totally unlimited in a general partnership, it's split down the middle in an LP, and for the LLP, everyone's protected, limited liability across the board. Finally, how you set it up. The riskiest options are the easiest to start, but the safest one, the LLP, needs you to do the formal paperwork.
So when you look at it like that, it's really no surprise that these days, most professional firms, we're talking accountants, lawyers, architects, you name it, they almost always choose the LLP. It gives them that perfect blend of teamwork and protection.
And that brings us right back to the one question you need to ask yourself. When you think about your new business, what really matters more? Is it the absolute simplicity of starting up in 5 minutes, even if it means accepting all that personal risk? Or is the ironclad protection of an LLP worth a little extra paperwork up front? The right architecture for your partnership really all depends on your answer to that question.